Elias McGraw was a known horse trader in the outskirts of Dead River, a dust-bitten town near the western frontier. He wasn't poor, but he wasn't rich either. He measured wealth in horses, not in gold. Elias had never taken a wife, not because he didn't want one, but because he never found a woman who looked at him as something more than a deal to be made. Until that morning, when he rode into the trading post and met a tall stranger with hollow eyes and a woman wrapped in a dirty shawl. The man was selling his wife. Elias had heard of men doing such things in places where hunger spoke louder than love, but it was rare to see it out in the open. The woman didn't speak. She stood quietly, head down, her long black hair covering most of her face. The man called her Anna. "I need a horse," the stranger said, "and she ain't no use to me no more." Elias looked the woman over. Her boots were worn. She didn't flinch, didn't cry, just stood like a rock waiting for the tide to pass. Elias wasn't sure if she was broken or brave, but something about her silence held his eye longer than he expected. "What kind of horse you need?" Elias asked. "One that don't quit," the man said. Elias walked to his wagon and brought out a dun-colored Mustang, strong and fast. "This one won't stop running till the ground ends." The man nodded. "Then we got ourselves a deal." They shook hands. The woman looked up briefly. Her eyes met Elias's. There was no gratitude in them, no fear either, just a depth he couldn't read. That's how Elias came to own a wife for the price of a horse. He brought her back to his ranch at the edge of the mesa. She didn't speak during the ride, didn't ask questions. When they arrived, he gave her the smaller cabin beside his, told her it was hers if she wanted it. Still, not a word from her lips, but every night he saw a candle burning in her window, and every morning the smell of firewood already chopped filled the yard. Weeks passed. She did more than her share of work. Cooking, mending, cleaning. She helped him tend the horses with quiet skill. She moved like someone who'd lived hard, but kept her spine straight. Elias began to wonder where she came from, who she was before she was traded for a horse. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mesa, Elias brought out 2 tin cups and a bottle of whiskey. He found her on the porch, shelling beans. "You ever gonna speak?" he asked gently. She looked at him, then slowly nodded. "What do you want to know?" "Your name, your story, why a man would trade you for a horse." She was quiet for a long moment, then said, "He wasn't my husband. He bought me from a wagon train 2 years ago. Said I owed him my life. Said he'd sell me again when I stopped being useful." "Why didn't you run?" She shrugged. "Run where? Ain't nowhere safe for a woman alone." Elias looked away. "You're safe here." She gave him a long look. "You don't know what I've done." "Don't matter," he said. No, it was her, or someone who looked exactly like her. The name was different, but the eyes were the same. He rode home in silence. When he got back, she was in the barn, brushing down a stallion. He held the paper out. She looked at it, didn't deny it. "So it's true?" he asked. She nodded. "I did what I had to do. They're offering $200 for you, dead or alive." She set the brush down. "You gonna collect it?" He looked at her a long time, then said, "No, but you better start running. Someone else might." She stared at him. "I ain't running anymore. If they come, I'll face it." That night Elias sat awake with the rifle by the door, waiting. And as the wind howled over the mesa, he wondered if he'd bought a wife or invited a storm into his home. 3 days after the poster showed up, a rider appeared at the edge of the McGraw ranch. Elias spotted him before the dust settled, long coat, silver badge glinting in the light, and a pistol that hung low on his hip like it was meant to be used. Anna was hanging laundry when he rode in. She saw him, saw the way he scanned the land, then disappeared into the cabin without a word. The man dismounted and tipped his hat. Marshal Boone, looking for a woman named Clara Dawes, goes by other names, might be calling herself Anna. Elias met the marshal's stare. Ain't no Clara here. Boone held out the wanted poster. Mind if I ask your wife a few questions? She ain't home right now, Elias said. Boone's jaw tightened. I got a warrant. That sketch fits her too well to be coincidence. She ain't that woman, Elias said flatly. Boone didn't argue, just nodded and turned his horse. I'll be back tomorrow with a posse. When he was gone, Elias went into the cabin. Anna was packing a saddlebag. You running now? She looked up. He'll come back with 5 or 6 men. I won't get far, but I can lead them away. You really kill those men? Elias asked. She didn't flinch. 3 of them tried to take what wasn't theirs. 1 of them wore a badge. The 4th was an accident. A fire started during the fight. People died. Why not tell me before? Because I wanted to live one life without fear, she whispered. Just once. Elias sighed. Then let's give you a chance. He rode into Dead River that evening and met with old friends, men who owed him favors, ranchers, traders, and a retired deputy who once rode with Boone. By morning, they had a plan. The next day, Boone returned with 4 men, guns ready. But the McGraw ranch was empty. Or so it seemed. Boone stepped into the cabin, found a note on the table. You want her, you'll have to prove she's guilty. Until then, she's under protection. Boone cursed and kicked over the chair. He's harboring a fugitive. From the ridge above the property, Elias watched through a scope, his rifle loaded. Behind him, Anna sat with a map and a compass. You sure this'll work? She asked. No, Elias admitted, but we're gonna try. They began riding by night, heading for the Arizona border where Elias had kin. Days turned to weeks. Anna started smiling again, talking more. She told Elias about her real name, Clara Dawes, and how she was born in Missouri, raised by outlaws, taught to fight before she learned to read. She told him about the marshal who tried to buy her loyalty and the saloon owner who tried to break her, how she'd killed to survive. Elias didn't flinch, he just listened. But Boone wasn't far behind. He tracked them through burned-out towns, desert ridges, and outlaw trails. Then one night in a canyon south of Santa Fe, Boone caught up. Shots rang out. Elias was hit. Anna returned fire, fast and precise. 2 of Boone's men fell. Boone took cover, shouting, "Give her up! It's not worth dying for!" "She's worth more than you'll ever know," Elias shouted back. In the chaos, Anna circled behind Boone. She didn't kill him. She knocked him out cold and tied him up. They took his horse and rode hard through the night. By dawn, they were across the border. Months later, in a quiet Mexican village, Elias healed. Anna started using her real name again. People there didn't ask too many questions. They married under a fig tree by a priest who never looked twice at scars. Elias never traded horses again, and Anna, Clara, never had to run again, because for the first time in her life, she was not a woman bought. She was a woman loved.